Hello, everyone. We'll get started here in a few minutes. Hey, Dave, welcome to the stream. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. I hope it's entertaining as well as useful. I hope people are learning a few new things from these as I go along. As we get into Act 2 and Act 3, it's going to be a little more entertainment purpose than learning purpose because, yeah, my personal playthrough is, there's not a lot of time to play the hundreds of hours that I had in early access in Act 1, so I'll be anxious to see if I'm learning a lot on my own as we go through my playthroughs in Act 2. Hope everything's going well for everybody this weekend. Busy weekend for me this time of year, so I'm anxious to sit down and be able to play some games this weekend. Yeah, CK, that's pretty good. Yeah, no, I will say they did a great job with the music in Baldur's Gate 3. Larian did an amazing job. And especially once you get into Act 3 and you get into a lot of the high-level, high-end culmination of quest lines bosses, those fights are amazing. Especially the one against Raphael. That music is just cool to listen to. Hey, Lord Henry, welcome back. All right, we'll get ready to get started here. Welcome everyone to today's live stream. Episode 13 of our Baldur's Gate 3 Paladin gameplay series. I'm Commander Jorval, and I want to thank you for coming along on our journey today. So, from an admin note, just a quick one. I think the internet here has stabilized a little bit. I noticed one issue during the previous live stream, and want to just check and make sure that everything else is okay. That happened fairly early on in last live stream, and I haven't seen anything to substantially disrupt it since then. I do have a little bit of drop frames here since we went live, but not a whole lot. So I think we're okay and shouldn't have any issues. If we do get any issues with buffering or anything like that, Be sure to let me know in chat. And if I don't see it myself on the YouTube analytics or anything, please let me know in chat, and I'll see if there's anything I can do to get it corrected. So I think that's it for the admin notes. So on our recap, at the end of last live stream, we had ventured into the Underdark. We had come out through the Selûnite Temple. We had utilized the towers up front to help take out the Minotaurs some for us. We moved forward, moved our way into the Myconid colony, picked up a few quests there, and then we headed out and rescued Balin from the Biberbang forest out there. And at the end of last episode, we had moved forward just a little bit more and had gotten ourselves into a position to be able to attack the second hook horror in the group. And unfortunately, because of how we saved that game, there's a good chance that as soon as I load into this game, we're going to be immediately into combat. We'll load in and see how it goes. Maybe we'll get lucky here. Maybe we won't. We'll see how it goes. Good. I'm glad everything looks smooth so far. But please let me know if it doesn't stay that way. So keep our fingers crossed. Okay. There we go. Evidently the lesson to learn, and this is about a 50-50 shot from what I can tell. Normally, because I have multiple live streams going, I have to load a save file, save over it right before the live stream starts, so that all I have to do is click the continue button rather than going through the loading screens and opening up all my other playthroughs and all that sort of stuff. So that's what I did, and the first time I loaded it up, I entered into combat like this. I was like, I didn't end the live stream in combat, so why am I here? So I closed out of it, loaded it again, and I was not in combat. Astarion was in hiding right behind the hook horror where he was at the end of last live stream. So I think the lesson learned here is that don't ever try and save if you're threatening a target. I was right behind the hook horror. Don't ever save if you're actively threatening a target, because when you come back in, there's a good chance that it's going to initiate combat. And you might not want it to. And that's kind of the case here, kind of not. The hook horror down here has a detection cone that's really big, and it overlaps all the way up here, but this hook horror did turn to face me. So I might be able to get my Paladin up here, up behind the hook horror, to enter into combat with it. We'll just have to kind of see how it goes. So let's try and do that. We're in hiding here with my Paladin. So I think what we're going to do instead is try and get our... Yeah, I think this is a much better idea. I think we're going to try and get the Bulette into combat here. This detection cone is from the hook horror up here. So I think I'm going to try and get my Bulette into combat against this hook horror here, because I can move the Bulette independently. Okay, so it got close enough that it entered me into that combat anyway, but that's not a big deal. Am I hidden here? Now I am. So now I'm going to get Glut into combat. I'll try and get Glut into combat against this hook horror. I forgot the Bulette can't hide. It's a huge creature, so it can't hide. Because if I bring my Paladin up here, then Glut and the Bulette are going to try and follow me. And I don't want them trying to do that. I would love to be able to get him into combat all the way down here. Yeah, let's go see if we can do this. Okay, so we didn't make it. The amount of time that he stays facing a certain direction is kind of variable, and I'm not entirely sure what determines it. But hopefully his detection cone is far enough back that I can get my Paladin up here. The Bulette as a pet. Kind of. When you get Sovereign Glut in your party, you can use his reanimating spores action and resurrect one dead creature to fight for you. And it works on the Bulette. So the Bulette is a follower now, and he's going to fight with me. I can heal him, I can buff him, I can do everything like that with him. He acts just like a follower. So yeah, it looks like we can. Looks like the detection cone's far enough back, so let's get our Paladin up here and...
Don't waste a step.
Get a Divine Smite here on this hook horror. Okay, we're going to add in Divine Smite. Alright, that puts him into combat, which is good. Now with Gale, I think I can just move him up far enough.
Of course.
Like down here, where he's outside of the Susser Bloom. I don't know if he's going to be within range from there or not.
Cursed flowers. I feel my magic
He
everywhere.
might be from down here instead. Target's too far. Okay, so this Hokori here does not patrol. He stays there because he's eating the gnome. Filro does patrol around the area, so you kind of have to watch out for him. What I would like to do here, I'm going to use my Scorching Ray here from my helm. And then Shadowheart. Because if I can kill the hook horror, then this combat is going to end. The combat that has Astarion in it, it's going to end. And all of these characters are going to be freed up to be able to enter into the combat against this hook horror down here, which is going up against Glut single-handedly right now.
Mission has to come first.
So I want to try my best here to kill this hook horror in this one turn. Because I have two different sets of combat going on right now. This is not one combat. It's one set of combat between these two and a completely different set of combat up here, so... So what do we have here? She's got advantage on this because of Feller of Monsters. Let's do a corrosive strike. That's going to create a pool of acid. Actually, I don't want to do that. Actually, I really don't want to miss this. It's 3 to 10. Let's get Astarion. Let's get Astarion's attack in first. So we're going to bite. And then I should be able to get a sneak attack here, melee. Alright, that's good. So now Shadowheart can move up and just use her flail. She'd have to roll minimum damage to not kill him.
Time to meet your maker.
Perfect. Okay, so now the Bulette is probably going to get into combat here. Yes. Because it tried to move up and get into
Looking ahead. This calls for careful footwork.
formation with me.
Can't afford to
Let's
stay out.
put everybody else into hiding here.
Radio or not. Bother.
And let's get them situated to take on this hook horror down here. So yes, the Bulette has now entered into combat with this hook horror, so let's move Glut up here first. I would prefer to be on the other side of him. Okay, so the multi-attack only works if it's prone. So we're just going to do a regular punching attack on it here.
There is work to do.
And now let's see what options we have. So the detection cones are all sorts of overlapping here. So it looks like my best bets are to stay ranged up here, because if I climb down, I'm going to be in the detection cone here and enter into combat immediately. I could just wait this turn out. I think what I'm going to do is just make my ranged sneak attacks from up here. No, because if I do that, he might try and jump up here. I'm going to wait out this turn. Hopefully he's going to turn and try and attack Glut, and when he does, his detection cone is going to be facing this way, and then I can get everybody to climb down here and get into melee combat with him. Okay, so he's not. He's pouncing over here toward me, and that's going to put everybody into combat. That's fine, though, because I think the detection cones are outside of this. So, Gale, at least, is going to be able to move down here and get out of the way. Actually, I think I'd prefer to have Gale back up there, to tell you the truth. Now that his detection cone is cleared out, let's move Gale over here a little bit, keeping him out of the way of Filro's.
Where do I go from here?
Path.
Let's have some fun.
Okay, so for Astarion here, actually, let's go with the Bulette first, because we're going to want the Bulette to do his deadly leap attack here. Alright. So... and now we can bite. Alright, so is...
Another fight. Let's go.
now we can get our Paladin down here. Can't reach it just because of everybody clogging up the way here. Let's see if we can get... we can. Good. So we'll put Hunter's Mark. Okay, good damage there.
Go for the throat.
Now, is the hook horror threatened? The hook horror is not threatened.
Never a dull moment.
So we want to get our Paladin down here.
Swift as my feet can carry me.
Okay, so now the hook horror is threatened.
Shall we
So now Astarion should be able to get a sneak attack ranged. Okay, so we can't get it from that location. Let's see if we can move Shadowheart back out of the way.
I've missed this.
And get Astarion here. Can you see him now? Yes. This is probably going to end it. Outstanding. Okay, so we're going to put everybody into hiding again. Except my Bulette, who
Wits and
obviously
blades,
can't.
Always sharp. Calm and quiet, that's the way.
Surprised you spotted me.
Whoops. Gale, go into hiding.
Life for me.
And we are going to initiate combat with the Bulette if we can. So let's see how far his deadly leap will go. Saw a little icon. So there's like one pixel up here somewhere where it works. So we can reach there. Let's try and move him up a little bit farther. Okay. So this is going to work here. From the top rope. All right. So now, this is great. I love Deadly Leap. Okay, so we don't have enough movement to get to there. He's going to want to move to leap from there, which is causing me problems. So I can just leap here without using any more, and I would really love to leap right there. I would love to be able to leap to right there. But this might knock the hook horror off. Okay. Oh, and I still can jump over here. This is not a concussive jump, but it will get me so that now Filro, if he moves, is going to take an attack of opportunity from the Bulette. And 8 to 52 damage, that's going to hurt. So now let's see if we can move. So now the hook horror is prone, which means I can move Sovereign Glut right up next to it. And his multi-attack works on prone targets. Okay, so he missed with one and hit with the other.
Maybe I should stay crouched forever. These boots have seen everything.
Yeah, Peter. I certainly wish I could burrow him into the ground. That would be amazing. So now here for this hook horror, I don't even think we need to really do this, actually. Let's see if I can get this kill with the Astarion instead. And then use my last Divine Smite. Well, no, because he's gonna have a high armor class. Let's try that instead. No, because I think... Sorry, debating here. I want to be able to hit him 3 times and remove all of his mirror images. Every hit that he would take damage on causes a mirror image to disappear. And I think what I'm going to do here is move Gale up.
Very well.
Cast Magic Missile. And I can actually do this with my pendant. Okay, so it didn't work with magic missiles. I thought with force damage, it would be able to see that as attacks against him, like melee, and do it. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So we're going to have to make actual physical attacks against him. Oh. Whoa, 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 whoa. Did I... Oh, okay. He took a huge amount of damage from the magic missiles. Now I see what... I was like, wow. I killed him? Okay, so now I can take my Paladin down here, now that he's down here, and I can just... I don't even think I need to use the smite. But I might as well. I'm going to take a short rest after this anyway. Ooh. No. No, I won't, actually. So let's see if I can kill him here. Alright, so it took 6. So... yeah, because the hook horror is going to go next. Yeah, I think I just will use it. Okay, so now Shadowheart should be able to just get him with a ranged attack here.
No one stops.
Okay, so looting the hook horrors here, you get the hooks. It's an alchemical ingredient for the elixir of vigilance. So be sure to
What's in
pick
here?
these up off the hook horrors.
On my way.
Oh yeah, that would be brutal. Casting enlarge on the bullet. Okay, so we picked up the icy crystal here. Couple of scrolls for Gale and the scribbled notes. These talk about an adamantine forge with a hammer that's hot, and where is it? It's gonna open up the location on our map, and it says Dhourn knows. Now remember, Dhourn was the drow, or yes. No. We haven't gone that way yet, so I'm not gonna explain that. It says Dhourn knows. Sorry, get like I say, so many live streams going on. I don't want to get confused with them. And yeah, because we don't have the other collectible item. So, now up here we do have a lot of camp supplies that we can pick up. We'll look at the tattered scroll here in a second.
Don't mind if I do.
Okay, so the tattered scroll here talks again about magma, and this is a clue to how does the hammer get made hot. It gets made hot by the use of lava, and we're going to be encountering that.
Moving. At the ready.
I've got a
So
long
we'll group
road ahead.
everybody else up back here.
What's next?
Hello, Shadowheart.
I must
Want to
keep
join us?
going.
Thank you.
Still breathing, despite everything. I bet that'll
We have
fill my
another camp supply here we can pick up. Okay, that was funny. So the hook horror, or the bullet, jumped off the top, landed on the hook horror's dead body, and hit it for 21 bludgeoning damage. 600 kilograms from 5.41218 meters in the air. Caused 21 bludgeoning damage. I do have plans for the adamantine forge. Yes, I'm not going to spoil it yet. I know CK, look at you trying to get spoilers out of me.
with haste.
But yes, I do have a plan. I've had a plan for it for a very long time, and that's part of the reason why I'm coming here as opposed to going to the mountain pass first. Okay, so I'm going to break my group.
There is work to do.
What to do?
Shouldn't have done that. Should have had Astarion cast that.
Whatever comes, I'm ready. You need to pick me up.
Quick step.
That's curious.
Can't give up now.
I'm anxious to see he succeed. So he rolled an 18. Okay. I was wondering, because I knew it was a DC 20. I was wondering how he passed it. He doesn't have hardly any bonuses to that. And then we have the tombstone here. And I'm going to illustrate this in the same way I did in the Bard livestream. I'm going to go to the alchemy pouch. I'm going to take the autumn crocus. I'm going to split it. This one that I have all by itself here, I'm going to move it down here into my normal inventory. So remember, we have not gone to the Arcane Tower yet. We have not been there. We are encountering this tombstone without any knowledge of what it is.
Let's see.
The rock under your feet juts upwards, forming a perfectly engraved tombstone with a small epitaph. In memory of Myrna, a shining light in this dark world, may you forever gaze upon the lake you loved to play in.
Okay, so our only option here is to either dig up the grave or leave. Now, I talked about this in the Bard playthrough. There's a third option that appears once you know what this grave is about. However, you won't know what this grave is about until you have explored the Arcane Tower. So there are two ways to go about playing this, and there are no ramifications to this either way. It's just whatever you would like to do. So since I illustrated coming back here to this in the Bard playthrough and placing Autumn Crocus on this on the grave after I learned what it did, I'm going to play it a different way here.
Moving ahead.
How delicious.
And I'm going to take Astarion and have him
See.
dig up the grave.
The rock under your feet juts upwards, forming a perfectly engraved tombstone with a small epitaph. In memory of Myrna, a shining light in this dark world, may you forever gaze upon the lake you loved to play in. As you dig, you slowly expose the skeletal remains of a large dog wearing a chunky leather collar.
What's this? A collar covered in wounds.
Okay,
Must
so
do something. Damned if I know what, though.
you can pick up the dog collar here. Looking in Astarion's inventory, it's an old leather collar for a large dog. The name Myrna is engraved on the tag. It's surrounded by indecipherable runes. Runes normally indicate that it's magical of some sort. And if you take the collar, you can see that it wants to go into the amulet slot here. So what we're getting right now is nothing. It's just equipped. We lost our resistance to slashing damage. It's not a big deal. We'll let him wear it for now.
Time to press ahead.
Now we're going to head off this way. We're going to explore a little bit as we move.
Maybe I need more pockets. What's inside?
Alright, so we have some dead bodies we can search here really quickly. Low caps are camp supplies. They are not crafting ingredients, even though they look like mushrooms. Okay, and now you should recognize back where we are here. This is now back in the Myconid colony where we exited to head over to the Bibberbang and the Susser Tree. So we basically came out, made a big loop all the way around. Now, we still have the Bulette with us, and the Bulette is very handy in combat. Well, we have 3 more combat encounters that are available to us here in the Underdark. We have the Drow and the Spectator over here. We have the battle with the animated armors and the construct, if we want to do it in the Arcane Tower. And then we obviously have the Duergar encampment down here to do. And it is possible to take the Bulette through all of those combat encounters. It gets a little bit difficult because of the maneuvering that you have to do to get the Bulette into some of those locations. But we're going to take a look at some things here. We're going to make our way down here into the start of the decrepit village, but we're not going to go too far into it. We're going to make our way back over here, and you can see now we have some more dead bodies that we can search. We get the short sword of the First Blood. We'll look at that here in a second. We don't need another shovel. We're done collecting useless shovels. I'm still upset that doesn't work anymore. And then the short sword of the First Blood. So the short sword of the First Blood, and we'll go to Astarion to look at it. It does an additional 1d8 damage to targets that have all of their hit points. That makes it a great sneak attack initiating combat weapon for Astarion to have. So the Steel Forged Sword is a +1 short sword, basically. We're going to move that over here. The dagger +1 we can get rid of, and we're going to give him the short sword of the First Blood as his main weapon. And what that means is that if we get into a situation where he wants to start the combat with melee instead of ranged, he can go in with the short sword of the First Blood, and look, he can do up to 17 damage with that. That is more than I can do with Falar Aluv just by itself. That is almost as much as you can do with a strength-based greatsword on Lae'zel or somebody like that. That damage caps out at 18. So for that first hit against that target with all their hit points, the short sword of the First Blood is amazing. Okay, so it's a great weapon to pick up here. Don't miss it on this random body down here.
All right. What now?
So now we're going to keep moving around here a little bit, and we can make our way up here. We have some more dead bodies we can search. Okay. So now if we look at our map, we'd be heading back up this same way that we were. And I instead want to take us down here into the decrepit village. So we're going to move, well, first of all, let me get rid of his encumbrance. And we're going to climb down here. Now, the Bulette is not going to want to do this. But he's going to jump. Okay. Now we're going to make our way over here. And we're going to toggle our group. And we're going to look at the Bulette again, because the Bulette is kind of stuck. Okay, so now we're going to group everybody up and continue on this way.
Very well.
And there, the Bulette's now with us again. So, we're not going to get into the decrepit village, but I do want to come up here. And I'm going to split my group again.
Someone there?
And now with Astarion, I'm going to clear out these torch stalks.
Let's go.
Okay. We have one more way up there.
Bulette burrows. Best step lightly. There's a land shark about.
There is, in fact. We've got him with us in our party. Okay.
Is that
So now everybody else in our party we can jump
light on my
over
feet?
to here.
Let's get on with it. No time for Danny.
Ready and willing. Right.
And now again, as usual, we're left with the Bulette. And there's one little pixel here where you can get him to jump across that.
All's well that ends. Not as bad as it
Okay,
could.
so here we have a couple of different options. There's a fourth combat encounter here that you cannot take the Bulette into. And I don't think we're going to really do that one with the Bulette with this. We'll probably save that a little bit,
Well,
because what we are going to do
moving.
is head toward the Arcane Tower here. Now,
Let's keep to the shadows.
the Arcane Tower, once we get up here close enough,
The earth's been charred. Ominous.
we're going to see that we have detection cones that are going to pop up. And again, this is from the Arcane turrets that are out here. So we have some options on how to play this, and I think I'm going to play this kind of the,
Move unseen.
I guess the hardcore route, or the more combat centered route. I would not normally do it this way. Yeah. The Arcane Tower is situated here to the southwest. There are only two ways to get to the Arcane Tower, and that's through this passageway that we just came up here, which is west of the Drow encounter. You can either come up the way we came from the beach here and jump across here, or once you've cleared the Drow encounter, and you have access to this lower area down here, you can jump across down here to get into this area. But the only other way to get here is the way that you come in through the tea house, and you utilize the mushroom circle to get up and down from here onto this lower level. So I haven't done it this way in a while, actually. So let's do this.
Go. Time for some fun.
Okay, so it is sturdy.
Have a lot on my mind, and well,
Let's not take... No, I will take him in. Because in turn-based mode,
one day I'll catch a
they
break.
don't follow me.
My face protects me.
The air is ripe with magic.
Okay, so...
Still alive, so that's progress.
Alright, so this one is now going after Astarion
Something's on
here,
my
so
mind.
let's move... Can I get there? I can. Can I get up there? I can't.
Have to keep going.
Hey, let's... Astarion should not be able to be shot from there,
Don't touch me.
right? We'll click heals and do it again, just to move entirely out of the way.
Over here.
At least things have stayed
Now we're going to move
interesting.
just slightly more back here around the corner. Okay, so I'm not seeing any damage pop up here, which is good.
No one back home will ever believe this.
So now here, we're going to move out. So yeah, I need at least 10 to be able to hit it, or to be able to cause damage to it. So we're going to move out here. We're going to jump. Ooh, boy. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get there or not. Well, let's try. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get there. I forgot that I keep having to remind myself that my strength is not very good anymore. Because we made it a dump stat. Okay, so I did hit it with 1.
Watch your back.
Let's see if we can actually get Astarion. He's not going to be able to do it unless he gets a sneak attack, though.
Go.
Because I don't think his crossbow is going to be able to do... Well, it has the chance to do 10. Just not very likely. His firebolt cantrip has a much better chance of doing it. And of course, there would be a critical miss. So I'm going to take probably a couple of attacks here. Think he can probably see me. Maybe not. I may take an attack from this turret. I'm definitely going to take one from this one. Okay, so yes, I did take a couple of attacks.
Let's get going.
So I did take 2. But now, I can just get up here and bash this one right in the face.
Death won't take me yet.
Okay. So, he didn't cause 10 damage. He must have rolled low on his damage roll. Yep. Okay. Oh, it's got slashing resistance too. I didn't pay attention to this. This was my fault. It's got slashing resistance, so damage was going to be cut in half. I should have used my Eldritch Blast against it. Or changed my weapon to a Blood 2 Cyanide, which is bludgeoning. But then I would have had to have changed my packed weapon and everything else. So, yeah, I'm going to have to use the Eldritch Blast. So that means I'm going to have to take another attack here. Maybe I can get out of the way enough. To get out of line of sight of that turret. I should be out of line of sight there.
Keep a blade close.
Now from here, let's see if I can hide.
Very quiet.
Got piercing resistance.
From the shadows.
Okay. I can't have disadvantage. It's threatened. Okay. I'm gonna have to roll big on the damage to bypass it. Yep, because it's got resistance to piercing damage too. That's my fault for not paying attention to the resistances. Okay, so both of them did hit me, even though I'm not in line of sight from that thing. The line of sight mechanic for these turrets is a little busted.
What path lies before me?
Okay. So now this one's left. And for Astarion, I would just like to draw its aggro
Don't
again.
linger.
I don't think it's going to, though. I should not take a hit here. Okay. So it did aggro on Astarion. So if I move out there to make the attack, I won't be able to move back, though. So let's kind of just move up to here.
Breathe deep and move.
And end our turn there. We'll move Astarion into cover here.
Let me work my magic.
I should be okay here. Yep. And now here I'm close enough that I can move out.
Swift as my feet can carry me.
I can make the Eldritch Blast attack. And then I can move back. And this is what I should have been doing if I would have realized about the resistances earlier. I shouldn't have tried to get into melee range at all. Alright. So now both the arcane turrets are down, and I group everybody up. Okay, so
No time to dally.
we're going to break the group and just take
No time to
Shadowheart
waste.
out here to do a little looking around.
That's curious.
Scroll of Fear, that's always really good.
Might as well.
And there's a letter here from Lenore to Erie, about how Bernard is the only thing that's left in here, and she misses having Erie around.
Easy.
Okay, a high DC here, but that's not normally a problem for Astarion. And we get Skybreaker. Now, we've learned about Skybreaker in our other playthrough. It comes with Searing Smite on it. It allows you to cast that once per long rest, I believe. Yes, once per long rest. And it is a light weapon that you can dual wield it with another light weapon. So it's great for those two-handed melee Paladin builds, which can be very, very strong. And it is a +1 strength-based light hammer. So by far the biggest benefit, though, is the Searing Smite that it comes with. Doesn't really compare to Valar Eluv, however, but if you do need a bludgeoning weapon, which, going back and looking through my inventory after I cleared it out, I've got Cyanide, which is 1d6 compared to 1d4 for Skybreaker. Having that additional Searing Smite on your bludgeoning weapon can be really beneficial. However, if you're trying to get past damage resistance, it probably isn't going to be, because the fire damage that goes along with Searing Smite might or might not get past the resistances. But it's a good backup bludgeoning weapon to have if you're going sword and board and you need to do bludgeoning damage.
Got to press on.
Okay, so now for the rest of this.
Careful, I bite.
Okay, remember that we have the Ring of Jumping here on Astarion.
Subtle
And
steps.
we're going to do the rest of this the way we would normally do it, to shut off the arcane towers, turrets, because as you move through here, these aren't the only two arcane turrets that are here. There are many more inside, and we want to shut them off entirely so that we can have more opportunities to maneuver the Bulette around.
Trust no one.
But to do that, to move Astarion up here, we have to be able to jump up to here. A couple of different ways that we can look at doing that. And one of them is here. Now, once you've destroyed these cannons, then you have the opportunity to move up here and jump across. However, if you don't have these disabled and you're trying to sneak your way in, that's when the Ring of Jumping is going to come into play. And I'm not going to need the Ring of Jumping anymore, so I'm going to put the Caustic Band back on. We're going to make our way all the way out here. Jump across again. We've got one more jump to make. Actually, 2 more jumps to make. We might or might not get a notification once we get down here. So we'll take some damage when we jump down here. It was my temporary hit points which absorbed it.
That's curious.
There's the hole. We talked about that before. If you can shapeshift, or if you're a druid with wild shape, you can get in there and bypass this door.
Don't mind if I do.
Do have some materials that we want to pick up. There are some blue caps down here. Now, blue caps are not crafting supplies. They are camp supplies. Okay, so we was able to find the dirt mound. And we've got some crafting ingredients, a scroll of vampiric touch. So do I expect a DLC to be released for this game? Honestly, I do not. Larian has mentioned that they do not have plans at this time for expansions or DLCs or anything like that. That might change. Honestly, I think it's probably going to be more of a contractual issue. Because again, they're having to license all of this content from Wizards of the Coast. So honestly, I don't expect it, but we'll see. Strange things happen. So I did want to pick up a Susser Bloom
Should be easy.
before we lockpick this door. And this is why I brought Astarion in here. Now here on the table we have some more crafting supplies that we can pick up. And then we're immediately going to go over here and interact with the power generator. You can see that there are withered blue petals laying on the ground. That's a hint about how this works. There's also a book over here that explains that the Susser tree flowers have magical energy that can be tapped. So we're going to interact with the power generator here. It's going to ask us to put something in it, and we're going to put a Susser Bloom in it. Okay, so that activates the tower, and at the same time, you saw it turn off all of the arcane turrets. And that's what we wanted to do here. We don't want to have to be fighting those as we go through this. And there are a bunch of bottle racks and that sort of stuff you can search. There haven't been anything in any of them in any of my playthroughs.
What's that?
There's the other side of the hole on the outside. That's where it leads you. So you enter into this room here, bypassing all of that stuff. Or bypassing the locked door. More crafting supplies. And we get the uncovered mysteries, which allows us to detect thoughts. That's a great amulet to have when you're in conversations with NPCs. You just have to remember to equip it. One of those things that you equip when you're walking around the city of Baldur's Gate, just so you always have it available to you. No, I don't think that there is. CK, there are uses for it during the Spectator fight. But not outside of the Underdark. So here's water. We don't have any need for the water now. And go outside the door here. Doesn't look like there's anything there. You can pick up a supply pack. And there's a threadbare book. Now you want to read these. These lines open up dialogue options with Bernard.
I'm not normally one for literature.
And none of the other ones that I picked up do. No. So we have a couple of sacks out here we can search. And here we see the Tongue of Madness. These are items that we need for the quest inside the Myconid colony. Over here to help Omelium investigate the parasite. So we found the Tongue of Madness. We also need to find Timask spores. Nothing outside here, and then here are the Timask spores, the other half of that quest with Omelium. And that updates that quest completely. I think I researched these. Nope. Okay, and now we're going to ascend again. And this takes us up to the main level, and again, more arcane turrets up here. This is why you want to shut all of that off before you start exploring too far. We want to read the Dusty Book here. This opens up another line of dialogue with Bernard. And then we get the Chest of the Mundane, and we talked about this before.
Jesus, magic. Its energy has me on the tingle.
Okay, we're gonna take all, well, we're gonna take one of these first.
It's transformed. What is this trickery?
Okay, so that gave us a Hearthlight Bomb, so the things that are in this chest are not what they appear to be. So that gave us an ingot, a scroll of protection from evil and good. The Mistress Grace Featherfall boots. And a scroll of mage armor. There's also another scroll of mage armor down here. And we picked up the Mistress Grace boots. This gives you Featherfall. So with Featherfall, you're able to cast it on your party members to gain immunity to falling damage and also be able to jump and not take damage from jumping long distances. So we're going to equip those on to Gale. Okay, and there's a lever on the door here. Which opens the entrance here.
No time to rest.
And now everybody has access to the Arcane Tower. So we're going to pick up the Bullywug Trumpet here. And then we're going to head inside. Now I need to take this long rest, or this short rest
I
here,
wonder what the next move is.
to get my Paladin spells back, and we still have a good spell economy. Whoops.
Wizard's Tower is his sanctum. Private place.
Okay.
Search and respite. But as this wizard's not home, I say we take a peek.
Broken Machinery is a crafting material, which is different than early access, when there was no use for it.
Something good here, I hope. I need to find a way forward.
Now we can move around behind here and ascend again.
Oh, cursed to put my hands on everything.
And when you ascend, the Bulette gets pulled with you. That is unlike transitions between levels, like climbing down the cragged rock into the Kuatoa area. In that, it doesn't drag your other characters with you. Here, the Bulette is dragged with you whenever you do these ascensions. Okay? Now, that is good because the Bulette is trapped in here with you at this point. So the only way to get him out now is to get him up top. Where there is no cage around him. But that's exactly where we want to go anyway. At least I think that's the only way. I think he's stuck in there. I don't think he's going to try and glitch his way out of there. I haven't seen it before, but that doesn't mean he won't do it now. Okay, and here we go with this again that I had missed last time. So this paper it opens up a dialogue option for Bernard. Okay, and there's a cipher disk here that we're going to be able to utilize more of here in just a second. Couple of decent spells for Gale. And then right up here is an engraved Githyanki disc that we'll pick up.
Such a strange disc. Are these Githyanki markings? Lizelle might know.
Okay, this is not a Bernard book. And this handwritten letter, this is where you learn about Amarith and Lenore, and here is where you learn about Myrna's grave. So here's where you realize that now Lenore was putting autumn crocus flowers on Myrna's grave, and she really enjoyed that. And this is where if you don't dig up the grave, you can now go back to it, you can interact with the tombstone. It's going to give you an option to put autumn crocus on the grave, and it's going to tell you that the grave seems somehow more complete now. We have not done that, though. We dug up the grave and took the collar out of it. And that collar...
Keep your distance, darling.
is going to become useful now. So while we're wearing the collar, you can see if you zoom in here, there's a bowl, there's a bone, there's some bedding material here right beside the main wooden bed. So this is where Myrna the dog would probably sleep. Now if we bring Astarion up here and we press the button, while he's wearing the collar,
The pet could summon its own food? What a clever little trick.
you get a piece of raw steak, and the piece of raw steak is a camp supply. So that's the only thing that you get out of digging up the grave is a single camp supply. But again, it's something else to show you. So here you do have Mage's Friend, and I don't know which one of the two is going to get that. No, I've never interacted with the bed. Okay. So he just goes and lays down. I don't think this telescope does anything. Yeah,
Spyglasses.
doesn't.
Watching things from afar is hardly fun.
Okay, so we can make our way back around here.
A word of advice.
All right.
One, I'm sure whatever's on your mind poses no such risk.
Moving in.
And we're going to ascend again. We can hold left alt and do it. And now we're up here at the top.
Is it the foe? That foul, contemptuous heel?
You know these words. They are from the opening stanza of a play you found in this very tower.
And now you can see all of these are, or this one is the response that we're looking for, because we read that in the book, or art thou friend a rescue from my lonely wake.
Out of love for me, not love for blood and steel. Command as you see fit, my lord, my liege.
Don't get me wrong. I love poetry as much as an ex-wizard, but using it to command an automaton seems a bit self-indulgent to me.
And now you have access to command lines here with Bernard. He's not able to respond to general questions.
An unbeknownst command that I cannot fulfill.
He's programmed to only respond to the things that you read in the books. All right, so we're going to leave here, first of all. And we're going to... Oh. Let's go do that.
A long way to go still.
We're going to take Shadowheart back downstairs real quick. Because I did forget to decode the disc here.
The disc is formed from slate and engraved with Githyanki writing. You examine them closely, but can't make much sense of them. Without a cipher or primer to aid you, the disc's message could be near impossible to discern.
Okay, these options are interesting.
The disc doesn't respond.
This would be an extraordinarily lucky roll. Yeah, there we go.
No matter how hard you try, you can't make any sense of the symbols. You should take the disc to Lae'zel. She might know more about it.
All right. Now I'm going to
I'll give it a try.
ascend. Yeah, I can take it back to camp and let Lae'zel do it. She's going to be brought back into the party when we go through the mountain pass, obviously. So I'm just going to put them... Actually, I'm going to keep them here so I don't forget about them. And yeah, we'll let Lae'zel take a look at them. So while we're here, I'm also going to head over to the table here, or to this area here, and there's some stuff that we can search. We can pick up some more broken machinery. There's a patched parchment here that has another line of command for Bernard. And now we can talk to Bernard.
Welcome in this house. I wait for your commands.
Okay, so this is the one that we just picked up.
I'll hold them to them. There's all that I can do. I can't throw them away. I've never been that brave.
And from that, Oh, okay. So he did give us a new scroll there.
Command as you see fit, my lord, my liege.
So this option here,
Of course, my love. Don't be afraid, sweet girl. What can I do? Sorry, would you like a hug? Come here for just a moment. Let it out.
His arms are too tight and too low for a comfortable hug, as if he's meant to be embracing someone slightly shorter.
Remember, you are loved, Lenore, so much. You're doing great. And everyone will be so proud of you. Proud of you, as I already am.
okay.
Command as you see fit, my lord, my liege.
So 2 options left here.
If you do not believe a secret show, reveal the truth. Do what you wish to see.
With this one, Bernard's going to walk over to the table. He's going to put an item down on the table. And he's going to walk back. The guiding light ring.
Button. Reveal place.
Allows you access to the basement here. So there's another button that opens up here for the basement. Now there's one more dialogue option
Let us
for
start a
Bernard.
conversation.
Command as you see fit, my lord, my liege.
This one here, if you read the full text of the page, says that it's crawling towards the surface to survive and destroying everything around it. It gives you a hint that if you do this, if you click on this, it's going to initiate combat. Okay, it's the manual way of initiating combat with Bernard, which we do not want to do. We want to kind of get positioned first, and then we will initiate combat on our own terms.
I'm ready.
So
Whatever
with
it takes.
Shadowheart, we're going to move her back here,
Hidden.
put her into hiding.
You have my attention.
Gale,
To new horizons.
going to go up here in the corner. Go into hiding.
Man for this.
Let's move.
Astarion is going to go here around the corner.
Still
Now all
alive.
that's left is what's going to happen with this group here. Now, we have a couple of different options here on how to do this. With a Paladin, we don't necessarily at this level have access to any of the fighter abilities, the pushing attack or anything like that. However, we do have access to repelling blast from Eldritch Blast. However, it's not enough to knock Bernard out that window. So here with the Bulette, we do have an option to bite, which will push Bernard back. We also have an option for the Deadly Leap, where if we place it correctly, can also knock Bernard back. It just is not going to show us what that trajectory is until we land. So what I'm going to do is kind of move
No time to rest.
my Paladin out of the way a little bit here. The Bulette's going to try and follow, but I want to move him right back here. And now I'm going to start this off by deadly leaping toward Bernard. Now again, there's a chance here that he can get knocked backward a little bit. It's not enough to knock him out the window, but he might also resist it. So I'm just going to jump and land right in front of him. And see what this does. Bernard is a non-hostile entity right now, so this may not have the intended mechanics, but we'll see if it works or not. Okay, so it does not. So we're going to have to bite and then try and deadly leap afterwards. So let's just get him into a spot where he can bite. Okay, so where's my Bulette and the chance? So Bernard's going to get a chance to attack here. Let's see if we can... Sorry, I'm looking for an item. Okay, so it must have been part of what I cleared out. Okay, so before we finish this, let's go into putting on combat gear, so to speak. Okay, I think that's it. Amulet of Restoration's fine. Guidance isn't going to matter here, but we'll put it on anyway. Okay.
Time to push my luck again.
So here, I can't get there. I'm 15.1. I've only got 13 meters of movement speed. So if I jump, that's going to get me out to about here. I might be able to make it there, because that's 4.9 and it's only going to cost me 3 meters. It's going to be very, very close. Let's see how far I can stretch this without moving. I can't get close enough. Let's get the... I can't.
At the ready.
Was hoping to get close enough here to get in front of the Bulette, but I can't. I'm just out of melee range here. Okay, so Bernard. Perfect. Okay, and now Glut, I'm gonna move back here. Bernard failed his saving throw. Okay. And now... that movement just didn't work out all that great. Because I don't know if that line is going to push him out the window or not. Okay. So yeah, that line would not have pushed him out the window. You can see there's an X over it. Okay, so now before we move on, let's get everybody else into combat. We probably just have to concentrate on just taking Bernard out right now by himself and not worrying about pushing him out. And then we'll deal with the animated armors afterward. This should be okay here. Gonna have to move to make that shot. Nope, he can make it here. Alright, he's baned. And now we can move Gale up. And I can finish Bernard here with Magic Missile. So 2 should be more than enough. Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, is that because, again, and I need to pay more attention to this. Okay, he's not resistant to force damage. He was resistant to poison damage, but yeah, that's a little unfortunate. So now I have not a whole lot of options left here. I need to get Shadowheart in range of Bernard. Ooh, I might be able to move through here. I can. Nope, I can't, of course. Great. Okay. Well, Bernard's not going to get to go. His turn's already over. So we're going to get heavy crossbow attacks against us here. It is what it is. Ooh, Gale. Just being the man there. Okay, so I really want to get rid of Bernard here. I would kind of prefer not to do it with him, though. 50% chance.
Shall we dance? Ready or not?
So I guess this is my best chance to get rid of Bernard. Okay, so Bernard's down.
sharp.
Oh, big time. All right, good job, Shadowheart.
Mistra Rill.
Gale, we're just gonna actually... No, we're gonna move him back.
Of course.
Hopefully out of the line of sight a little bit. Nice hit there. Alright, now for the Bulette here. Oh, 59. Ooh, boy. Gotta like them apples. We're going to move around back, actually. Did manage to get a hit.
No choice but to keep going.
And now my Paladin.
I need to find a way forward.
Boom. Disadvantage on all those crossbow shots because they're too close. I don't know if he's going to be able to hit from here or not, so he can. Okay, well he can move over here and still hit it, I guess. And definitely can't hit all the way down there.
Need to act fast. Got to press on.
Creator. Destroyer.
Gale, I'm not too worried about any of this. And the spiritual weapon's not going to be able to get there in time. It's going to take 3 or 4 turns to get over there. So, the Bulette. Jump right in behind him. That'll end that.
At the ready.
So, Shadowheart can do the searching around here. And remember, inside here, we have a stool of hill giant strength. You pick it up and set it down. Then you sit in it. You get hill giant's might. So her strength is now 21. However, as soon as you get up, it goes away.
Vanishes as soon as I
So if
stand.
you make an attack against
Curious.
the stool,
As much as
you
I
get the
enjoy
club
a
of Hill
sit-down,
Giant Strength.
a strengthening bludgeon is.
And now, whenever you equip that, your strength is going to go up to 19. So it's a useful thing to have to, one, help increase carrying capacity if you're ever overloaded or light. Two, upping your strength to 19 increases your jump distance. So having that somewhere in your party can help one of your party members get into other areas that they might not be able to get into without a spell or something else like that. And it's a light weapon, which means you can dual wield it with other light weapons. So you can keep it in offhands and that sort of stuff to gain the bonus to your strength while at the same time attacking with a main hand weapon. So can be very useful.
Worth grabbing.
The main reason for that fight, though, however, is Bernard. The Antique Key and the Light of Creation. We've talked about the Light of Creation before. It's got incredible damage to it simply because of the 1d6 lightning damage that is always a part of it. Everything else tends to be 1d4. The 1d6 lightning damage gives it an upper range that is higher than a lot of other damaging weapons, even with the 1d10 base instead of 2d6. The problem is overcharge. It has a chance to stun the wielder unless it's a construct. And this is going to come more into play later on in finding a way to mitigate the stun effect. Then this can turn into a really good two-handed extra reach weapon to use. So that's why we wanted to pick it up.
Onward in her name.
Okay, so up here there are a few other things that you can
Check for anything
search.
useful.
Some piles of books and that sort of stuff. Okay, and I think everything else we've searched. Okay.
Let's move.
So we'll group everybody up back down here. And we can head back to the basement. Now, again, the basement area here does not have a cage around it.
I'm ready.
So the Bulette is free, temporarily. There's some more Timask spores. Dimension door is always awesome.
It is time. Wait.
On I go.
Didn't mean to click on Glut there. There's a basilisk oil on the table.
Better fetch that.
We have more Tongues of Madness, which again are crafting materials. Not just quest materials. Staff of Arcane Blessing, and a gilded chest. Okay, Scroll of Gaseous Form, that's really good. You have the sparks wall. The wearer cannot be electrocuted. There's a reason this is put down here after their Bernard encounter. Or I guess you could come down here and get it before the Bernard encounter. I didn't think about that. You can't be electrocuted. So that is incredibly useful, especially in the Bernard fight, depending upon how it goes. We managed to take Bernard out without letting him get a turn, basically. But if he gets a turn and he gets his lightning aura off, things can get sporty. We just managed to get him before he could do it. So where is... Oh. The Staff of Arcane Blessing. Right now, Mel's first staff and the Staff of Arcane Blessing share a trait, and that trait is an arcane enchantment where basically
Elminster's not
switch to
around,
Gale,
so might as well.
where basically you're able to gain a bonus to your spell attack rolls. Mel's first staff gives you a +1 bonus to spell save DC as well as spell attack rolls. The Staff of Arcane Blessing, when you cast Bless, it's like an upscaled Bless, and that it gives you not just the 1d4 to saving throws and weapon attack rolls, it also gives you a 2d4 to spell attack rolls. So the Bless here is a great thing to have when you're trying to up the hitting potential, not just of the melee people in your party, but also your spellcasters. So the Staff of Arcane Blessing is a great thing to use when you cast that first Bless using it. But then after that, you don't have access to it anymore. And then using Mel's first staff to increase your spell attack rolls by +1 is your go-to type of staff. So we're going to swap these out, and then the first time you use the Staff of Arcane Blessing, then you change it out to Mel's first staff, because the Bless is only once per long rest. Alright, so now we get... There's a lever behind one of the bookshelves on the top floor? Really? So the bookshelf is... These are just tables. This is the only bookshelf up here.
Certainly.
Is there another bookshelf somewhere up here, or is there a different floor? Are you talking about a different floor here, or is there... Oh, really? I'm going to be incredibly upset with Larian if they put something back here. So I don't think it's this one. So I'm going to wait for the chat to catch up. So, Lord Henry, is it this one here that I'm standing next to? There's a chat delay here, so... Okay. I don't see anything behind here. I don't see anything on the outside. Yeah, I may come back and I may also do some research about it. Check the forums and check Reddit. See if there's anything mentioned about it. Oh, I'm not going to be able to get Gale down into the basement either, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to exit out here. Because now my way out is this metal door here.
Let's see what this does.
And it drags the bulette out with you. If he's able to reach it with his pathing, then he's able to get out. However, there's now an issue here. He can't walk through that door. Okay. So here he's not able to get out here either. So the question is going to be, can I get the bulette out down here or not? Because honestly, this is my first time taking him inside here. He should be able to walk up these stairs. Yeah, he can't reach it. Can he jump in there? He cannot. Okay. So, because what I did previously to get him into this place off stream was take him outside and not drag him through down here. That's strange, though. I wonder if it's just because of the door.
Can't give up now. I'll give it a shot.
It might be because there's a door on that opening that he can't jump through it. Because the bullet's not able to jump out of any of these. I've tried this before. So he's not able to jump out of that. The only place he's able to get out is upstairs. Up here. And okay, so it doesn't let me jump out of there through the window. Okay, so it is going to let me jump down there from here. It's just going to give me death in doing so. Yeah, I can. I'm just figuring where, because either way, when I do this, I'm going to be in a situation where it's hard to get the Bulette where I need him to go. I would like to see if he can jump through here, jump through this door since there's no hinge on it. There is. Okay. That must have been the problem with the other one. If there's an actual door on it and not just an archway, then he can't get through it. Okay, so this is much better because this is where I want the Bulette to be. And we're actually going to heal up the Bulette first.
Of course.
So let's get everybody out here, and we will do some healing on the Bulette. Because this is the last combat encounter that I'm going to use the Bulette on that isn't part... Yes, I know that.
I feel the fair's rest.
Glut doesn't want you to get anywhere near the exit to the overworld.
The Underdark.
You recall the fair's rest, the energy of the Underdark. The Myconid might die if isolated from it.
So whenever you get this close to the entrance here, he's going to give you that dialogue there.
My faith will guide me.
But I don't have a whole lot of spell economy here.
I applaud your taste.
No one's stopped me yet.
So instead, I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to just get him out here and get this party started. Okay, now I know he can make this. Okay, there it is. Because I have tested this. All right.
Step quick.
Have a lot on my mind and, well, in it. How much farther can I go?
Glut. Come here. Thank you.
Looking ahead.
All right. Well, you want to jump back up here, please? Thank you. All right. So now the difficult party is all in place. So it always takes some tricky maneuvering there because they want to follow you. So it always takes some interesting maneuvering. So what we're now going to do is move my Paladin down here and get him into combat with the
Best be on my way.
Spectator. And I'm going to kill everybody, all of the drow, but I can kick this off by okay. This is very, very odd. Okay. Is something incredibly glitched? Yeah, something's incredibly glitched because not even the nauseous fumes are showing up on the vents. Yeah, I guess the Spectator got scared of the Bulette. Wow. Okay. This is the oddest thing I have ever seen. I have never seen this before in any playthrough. It was weird because as soon as I unpetrified him, we were all surprised, which is what happens when you go through, when the Spectator pops up. Everyone is surprised. But then the cutscene didn't play. The Spectator did not spawn, and we all lost the surprise condition. So, yeah, I've never been able to speak to Dhourn. I have never been able to speak to him. So this is, incredibly strange. I almost don't know what to do. Well, let's talk to Dhourn.
Dust on my tongue. I offer to parley, and he brings a spectator. Twit. Quite ruined my ambush. Now, you are? Puh! A rival. A mere footnote to my legend. You should be more concerned with who I am. I am Dhourn, third son of House Bartol, first rank evoker, and initiate of Graven Hollows. Oh. Oh, no, no, my dear dark gods below, no!
A memory shard. A container onto which brief mental impressions are projected and stored for years at a time.
Far, far longer than I realized. Then my enemies have already found the forge. Which bastard stole my glory? Zargrim? Filro?
Well, we did kill Filro, and he did go mad.
Consider it mercy, or pest control. Filro was never fully right. We were friends once. 3 of us working together to find a lost wonder. Until the others grew jealous, began to guard their secrets. You release me and hand-deliver such a prize. I ought to keep you, but I'm afraid I can't. You've proven a little too resourceful, and I really can't suffer another rival for this prize. So try to take this as a compliment, yes?
Okay. So, kind of figured things were going to take a bad turn no matter what, but he's all on his own here. He does not stand a chance here. I'm positive we can end this with a single shot here. Oh, there's the spectator. Oh, I love it. This encounter is so messed up. Well, I'm not going to use my Divine Smite now. Where is it? Okay. This is so scuffed. This whole thing is so scuffed. Okay. So I need to get back up here. Okay, now I'm going to deadly leap right in between these two. Oh, he doesn't have enough movement. Takes 6 meters of movement speed. And he must not have enough left. Oh yeah, he does. So right there is where I would love this to land. Okay, that kills Dhourn. Does good damage to the spectator. And now I can bite him. He's none too happy about that. And now he's got the acid effect, so his armor class is lowered by 2. This is so weird. What's happening with the combat? Okay. It was so weird. Yeah, now, now everybody's surprised. This whole combat is so scuffed. I love it. There is nothing that is playing out correctly here. Nothing at all. This whole combat is just entirely messed up. Okay, so let's
Come on, can't stay idle.
let's get the Divine Smite here on the Spectator. I shouldn't have done that. It's an aberration. So... Okay, so it's only Celestial Fiends and Undead, so... But I could have used Inquisitor's Might on that and didn't. So I can try and daze it. And get another Divine Smite on it. And it must have saved against the daze. Yeah, it's saved against the daze. I don't want to kill it. Okay, that's good. I don't want to kill it.
Allow me to demonstrate.
I won't give in.
Okay, so where are my detection cones here? So let's click heals. Can I get all the way up there? I can. God, his movement is just so amazing. Okay, now the Spectator is going to unfreeze somebody else. Wounding Ray on the Bulette, not too worried about that. Perfect, and he's going after the guy with the high armor class. Okay, so here oh, jeez, it's so wrong. Not too worried about taking the 5 hit points. It's just whether or not I go prone here. Okay, I didn't. Good. Let's get him moved up close. And now Shadowheart. Let's move over and do an upcasted Cure Wounds. Let's not move you there.
Take you.
Okay. And if we're gonna do this, we might as well mass Healing Word. I would prefer that the Bulette doesn't die here, but
Swords meet sorcery.
we'll see.
I can't even catch my breath.
I want to stay right here. I don't want to move from this spot. Maybe I can move a little bit. No, I'm frightened. That's not a problem, though. Okay. I want the Spectator to keep attacking me here. Now, I'm probably not going to be able to reach any of these without jumping, is my guess. So yeah, I'm going to have to just wait. One of these, I think it's this one is going, either this one's going to be next or this one's going to be next. It's not going to be this one. So let's just try and get into movement range here. Okay. Okay, yeah, keep going after the people with the high armor classes. I am perfectly okay with that. Can you get me enough space in here? There's not. And he's going to take an attack of opportunity if he does that. Thought he'd be far enough away from the Spectator, but he's not. So let's just... Okay. He's just not wanting to do it there. This is why I pre-positioned him, or the spiritual weapon here. Okay, and Shadowheart, again, I want her to stay there and not move. She's got a high armor class. 45%, 56% with disadvantage. Again, 49%.
One can't always be a gentleman.
Let's definitely remove him. Okay. So now on the spectator's turn, I think he's going to unleash this one here. For some reason, this one behind the rock, it's weird. The spectator either doesn't see him or doesn't want to interact with him, because I've never been able to get this one to him to unpetrify this one.
I wonder if this is worth the cost.
And again, I guess from here,
Breathe deep and move.
might as well take the shot. Now we'll move him in close again, so hopefully the spectator goes after him. Now for this, I'm going to have to jump down here, because I can't move around behind the spectator without invoking an attack of opportunity.
This will do nicely.
He's threatened. Target's too far, so I'm just out of range there. Not of that. Okay, sneak attack on Firebolt. Interesting. I'll take it though. Okay, so there's that one. And he's going after Astarion. Okay, so now I'm going to end this guy. $55% for the bite, 80% for this attack. Okay. That was probably bad. It hit me as well. I should have backed up before I did it. Now, I'm going to give the spectator one more turn, and that's it. And see if he will release this petrified drow or not. I've never seen him do it, but this is, I'm not going to let the spectator just live forever and keep trying it over and over and over again. This is going to be the last chance. And I'm going to use my amulet mass healing word. And move her kind of out of the way here a little bit.
I speak, they burn.
And we'll just see what the spectator does.
Still breathing, despite everything.
Can you feel death's cold grip?
Oh, so he did do it. Okay, good. So who are you going to bite? That's always the main question. You're going to bite Glut. Alright. Not a problem. So now you are going to have problems. Okay. The most scuffed encounter I have ever had with the Spectator. I have never seen any of that play out that way, ever. So, but at the end of the day, I guess it worked. So...
What now?
Alright, so let's do some searching here.
Always sharp. Might be useful.
Okay, there's a frayed drow hood, some thieves' tools, and some gold here.
I'd better take a peek.
I used to think the same thing, Eric, but I have found out that it doesn't matter. The only thing that changes about the ranged versus sword and board characters is the displayed animation. The armor class does not change. Even though the animation shows that you are not holding a shield anymore, the programming of the game does not change your armor class from 19 to 17 when you are just holding a ranged weapon. You can see I'm holding a ranged weapon here in the picture. My armor class is still 19. So I thought the same way when I first started going through this, but it is not the case in my testing that I have done prior to this. So it keeps the armor class no matter what, which is in line with tabletop as well. Tabletop, you don't swap out your armor class. Doesn't well, I have not had it lower with my DMs. That's probably an interesting question as to whether the DM would make me drop it or not. If I make a ranged attack, I've never had him drop my armor class because of it. I guess he technically could because I'm not holding it anymore, but nothing seems to indicate that in the game at all, and I haven't run into a DM that would do it yet, so... Yeah, now your attack of opportunity, that's different. Yeah, your shield AC doesn't matter. However, since you're right, you can't make attacks of opportunity with a bow. If someone moves away from you, then yes, you're not going to be able to make that attack of opportunity. However, your armor class doesn't change.
On I go.
So here, just some more armors to pick up. We'll go around and just pick up all of these items here. It's nothing, very, overly extraordinary on all of the dead drow. But we'll go ahead and search them here. And of course, we'll search the Spectator. And you'll pick up the Spectator Eyes. It's basically an amulet that lets you cast Ray of Fear and Wounding Ray once per long rest. Okay, so she's encumbered now, and that's just because of all these armors that she picked up. Okay, yeah, this part is still bugged. The vents aren't working. I wonder if I walk close enough if I'm still gonna take damage.
Looks like a trap there.
Or not. It says nauseous fumes. I can see it under my cursor, but there aren't any there. Okay, there it is. This is so scuffed. It's so messed up. Okay, I love it. I love how messed up it is. So we're gonna throw this armor
Let's do this.
on top of the vent, and now the nauseous fumes should go away. Yes.
This way.
I can go over here, pick up the alchemist fire.
Best avoid that trap.
Okay, so now here I can throw this leather armor on top of the vent. And now if I go search the backpack, actually I'm gonna put out the torch first. I don't know if I have any water bottles. There is one. Just in case. Okay, but yeah, the leather armor is still on top of the vent.
Trap.
And one more set of leather armor. And now you're all good.
What do we have here?
Okay.
What to do?
So we're going to group everybody up, bring everybody back down here. And we are definitely going to take a long rest. As soon as we
No time to dally. This way.
jump across here.
Something over there.
All right. So we definitely need to take a long rest here. What we're going to do is get back. You know, that's an interesting question. Okay. Also, one thing to know about the Bulette is that your jump ability, just like everybody else's jump ability, takes into account vertical distance. So he's going to take fall damage from that, unless I cast Featherfall or something on him. However, his Deadly Leap ability does not. It does not take into account vertical distance. So here I can jump around with this and not take any fall damage. So I want to see if I can move him over here and Deadly Leap him down to here. Now he's all good.
All's well that ends
Because you're going to have to jump him down a couple of different locations. And it's best to use Deadly Leap to do it. Now, my lay on hands... can use it. I want to use up because I'm going to take a... I'm going to take a long rest here, so I want to utilize all of my
What's next?
remaining healing that I have to heal the Bulette up as much as possible. Doesn't look like it. That would be way too OP, right? Okay. So yeah, monstrosity. That's kind of weird, actually, because they're using it on Dwergar. Dwergar are not monstrosities. Okay. It says target must be a monstrosity. Not entirely sure if that's true, though. Let me take Glut up here. I don't think this is true. Okay, it's not. So, I can use it again. If I use it again, the Bulette's going to die. You're only allowed to do one at a time. But it's not going to let me use it on the Spectator. Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to let me use it on the Spectator. I mean, I don't know which is more OP. Having the Spectator or having the Bulette. They're both kind of stupid levels of OP. So
Still breathing.
okay, so we are definitely going to take a long rest here. Where are you going, Shadowheart? Now this is interesting because I don't know what happens to the Bulette and Glut when I take a long rest. They go to my camp with me. Outstanding.
Another step forward.
Okay, so I think what we're going to do here... Talk to Volo first.
Ah, my good fellow. Quite the cozy setup you have here. I'll just make myself comfortable. Thank you so much. Not yet, I'm afraid. But my expectations are very, very high.
Okay. I wasn't entirely sure why he was even in this camp, to be honest. I thought he only appeared in the overworld camp.
Maybe it'll bring us closer.
You know, I've been catching myself smiling more lately. I think that's your fault.
Ooh, that's an interesting one. I've never done this. I think I read a Reddit post about this. I still have the Noble Stock in my inventory. The Noble Stock is a special type of flower that is rumored to be able to cure almost anything. And there's part of the quest line that goes on with Dareth and Balin. But that's very interesting. I think I'll have to research that off stream a little bit and see what actually happens if you do this. Because I've never played it out this way. So it's actually very interesting. I didn't do it in my personal playthrough because I had already completed the quest and handed in the noble stock first. So that's interesting. Okay, so nothing new here. Talk to Astarion.
Ah, my favorite traveling companion.
Nothing new for him. So let's...
Curious. I drained you dry, yet your body seems no more worse for wear. Perhaps I might find use for it again.
So here we're going to ask her about the disc.
The disc appears in your mind's eye. Lae'zel sees it too, and considers the vision.
Tissue markings. Ancient. I recognize them, but I can't make sense. No. Wait. The texts are enciphered, but I've solved the pattern. It's a story. About Orpheus.
Your head buzzes in concert with Lae'zel's, but it hardly matters. Even without the connection, you'd recognize her discomfort.
Githyanki writing. Every word a wheel, every letter a spoke. The most powerful texts are engraved in slate. Some so ancient, only the most erudite Gish can read them. A traitor. A dead one. This text is heresy. I can hardly bear to read it, let alone speak it. Very well. I will read it to you. The Prince of the Comet, Part 1. So it was that we were free from Geich shackles and turned our blades on each other. The heavens were shattered, and one great empire was divided in two. Gith traveled to the Hells to broker help for her people, her cause. Vlaakith would have you believe Mother Gith proclaimed her our queen. Lies. Gith made no such proclamation. Vlaakith seized the Empire against the Mother's wishes. But Gith had nurtured a son, Orpheus, Prince of the Comet, the true heir. He knew Vlaakith's treachery. Orpheus rallied Gith's honor guard and declared the throne for himself. The War of the Comet had begun. Disregard this drivel. Gith declared Vlaakith Queen of the Empire, and her own son defied her. Orpheus would have ceded control to the Geich. She did nothing of the sort. Thank your good fortunes I'm a tolerant woman, or I'd have sliced off a few toes for suggesting it.
Okay, so there's a lot of lore there. After the Githyanki revolted against the Mind Flayers, Mother Gith was the leader of the Githyanki. And according to that slate, she went to Avernus looking for allies, and while there, Vlaakith betrayed the rest of the Gith and seized the throne and the control of the Githyanki Empire as her own, away from Mother Gith's son, Orpheus. this is interesting that this is placed here in Act 1. We're going to learn a lot more about this when we get to the Githyanki Creche and we start playing out more of Lae'zel's origins and her origin quest and that sort of stuff. So we're gonna learn a lot more about this. We just need to be a little patient right now to get more into it. So check for a last bit of conversations here.
Well met.
Nothing. Withers, nothing. Gale.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Nothing. Oh. Okay. And the Bulette and Sovereign are just no. Jeez, stop. I clicked something and then moved off the way and saw there was an arrow there and didn't know what I was shooting at. So I don't think Volo is ready to do this yet.
Ah, my good fellow. Quite the cozy setup you have here. I'll just make myself... Not yet, I'm afraid.
Okay, so we are going to finish our long rest here. Okay, get rid of that, get rid of those. So 6, that should be that. Actually, need to get rid of those. Then we need 4 more. Perfect.
I promised I'd be back. Don't worry. I have things under control. For now. I see you've been using the powers the tadpole gives you. Good. But things haven't gone as you expected. You hoped a druid as powerful as Halsin might be able to remove your tadpole. But he couldn't. You're desperate to be rid of it. Understandable. But you're looking for solutions in the wrong places. Yes. Halsin is correct. Your parasite is unusual. It is wrapped in magic that prevents its removal. Until the source of the tadpole's magic is destroyed, any attempt to remove it will kill you. You are lucky that Halsin knew this. His instincts are right. The parasites are merely a symptom of a greater sickness in Faerun. The absolute aims are not yet clear to me, but its progress towards domination is clear. These parasites are more than illithid spawn. They are vessels for control. The infected hear the voice of the Absolute and believe it to be a god. That is how the cult of the Absolute is spreading. The highest of their rank, the True Souls, carry a tadpole just like yours. It is how they receive their orders. It is what makes them obey. When the order to transform is given, it will not be a matter of days. They will be mind flayers in an instant. Were it not for my protection, so would you. Because I am just like you, and I need an ally. Just like you, I was infected with a mind flayer parasite. Just like you,
I seek to be free of it. I've been trying to escape from this evil for a long time. Once, I almost succeeded. Now, through you, I've been given a new chance. You can go where I cannot, and I can protect you from that evil. If we work together, we may turn this around. Hells, they need me. I have to go. The power I used to protect you, I stole it from someone. They want it back. I will hold them off for as long as I can, but sooner or later I will be worn down. You must discover the source of the magic that controls the parasites before that happens. The cultists are gathering at Moonrise Towers. Use the powers your parasite gives you to convince them you are one of them. And when you find the source of their magic, destroy it. Go. Our freedom depends on it.
Okay. Looks like Volo is ready, and I think we're gonna end... No, we won't. It's already past time. And I think talking to Volo is a great place to start off an utterly gross playthrough next week. So I think that'll be a great start to the playthrough next week. So we had some very interesting stuff going on this week, especially with that completely glitched out encounter with the Spectator. Starting out next week, we really only have one thing left to do here on the Underdark, and that is to head over to the Decrepit Village and deal with the Dwergar that are there and finish up the quests associated with it at the Myconid Colony before we head over to the Grimforge. So I think we're making some really good progress here, and it's going to be getting us into some really exciting areas as we move forward here. So as usual, I'd like to thank everyone for coming along on our journey today. Without you, none of this would be possible. This is Commander Jorval saying until next time, fare thee well.